Of course, for engaged parents, the fact that teachers are all very different is not news. But what makes it even more remarkable is that our school systems don't reflect that fact. To use a phrase coined by the New Teacher Project, we treat teachers as widgets, identical cogs in a machine. We need to figure out which teachers are the most effective, to help teachers build their strengths, to understand their weaknesses and improve, and to give teachers the tools they need to be successful every time they step into the classroom. That's why the Gates Foundation is funding a program called Measures of Effective Teaching. This program's enrolled 3,700 teachers in 7 school districts, including right here in Memphis. Researchers are working with these teachers to collect 7 types of data, from student feedback to videotaped classroom lessons. This project is unquestionably evidence-based, and because of that, it's getting real support from teachers' unions. This is one of the most comprehensive quality studies about teacher effectiveness that's ever been undertaken. With this research, local districts and schools will finally have the kind of evidence they need to support good teachers, to help average teachers improve, and to have new teachers learn the profession that they're entering and become good and great. Now, I'll be the first to say that some of what we at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is advocating, which is based on 9 years of investments in research, is counterintuitive. It's like that old Yogi Berra quote, "Who are you going to believe, me or your own eyes?" Sometimes the evidence flies in the face of our most deeply held assumptions. For example, when the Gates Foundation started our work in education, we were sure that having small schools and small class sizes would make a big difference. We invested a lot of money breaking up big schools into smaller ones. Intuitively, it makes a lot of sense. Smaller schools, more sense of community. But when we measured student outcomes, it turned out that changing structure alone barely made a difference. But it starts to make sense. It didn't matter if students received more attention or if they had a better sense of community if they're still not learning the right material or the teacher isn't as strong as they can be. If you don't change what happens inside classrooms, you don't change education. Or take the master's degrees for teachers. It seems like common sense that students will learn more if their teachers have master's degrees in education. In fact, our country spends $8 billion a year rewarding teachers for earning master's degrees. But it turns out they don't make a lot of difference to student achievement. And it's just common sense that the average teachers who've been teaching 25 years are more effective than teachers who have been teaching just 5 years. It turns out they're not. Our research found that seniority only matters in the first 3 years. After 3 years, teachers usually don't get significantly better or worse. So we know master's degrees have almost no value to student outcomes. They may have value for other things, but not to improving student learning. We also know certification doesn't really make a difference to student learning. And we know that after 3 years, seniority doesn't make a lot of difference. But what do we reward? We certainly don't reward what we know does make a difference, which is that past practice, how effective a teacher's been in the past in the classroom, tells you a ton about how effective they'll be in the future. Past performance has huge value. We've built an entire policy set around the changes we know don't work. These are hard truths, and acting on these truths is even harder. Because of the recession, states face huge budget cuts. A lot of teachers are going to lose their jobs. Should we make decisions about layoffs based on how long a teacher's been teaching or how well the teacher is teaching? Should we prioritize small classes or excellent teachers? These are tough questions, but there is only one right answer. We have to retain effective teachers, and we have to get them in front of students. Anything else wouldn't be putting students first.